If you're following me, I'm assuming that you are one of the people who wants to work from home, set their own schedule, no longer work for a boss, and replace your income that you're making at your 9 to 5 as a paid copywriter. And I talk to writers every day through Instagram and my newsletter and email, all of that. And I'm hearing the obstacles that come up for writers that want to make this their full-time living. And something I hear a lot is that I've downloaded your cold pitch templates on paidcopywriter.com and I want to start cold pitching on LinkedIn, but I just feel stuck and I don't know how to start. And that's really common. So I want to say that if that's what you're experiencing, it's not because you are faulty or defective or lazy or anything. It's that a lot of copywriters get stuck at this initial stage of how to go from zero to full-time freelance. And that's exactly where I was when I started my freelance business. I was in an unrelated career field. I had never written professionally. I had no portfolio to speak of. And I went from zero to full-time by following a specific set of steps. So if you are in that boat where you want to start cold pitching because that's the best way to get clients, and you just feel stuck and you feel like you can't get started, I want to offer you something and what I think your issue could be. And it might be that you haven't chosen a clearly defined freelance niche. So as a copywriter and as a content marketer who has hired teams of writers, I'm seeing this from two different angles. One, I saw the success that I got from choosing a very specific niche. So I'm a B2B copywriter in the software and technology space, but I also receive a ton of pitches from other copywriters. And what I find as I'm scrolling through their website and their portfolios is that there isn't a clear focus. I have to really dig to find out, hey, does she know how to write? Does he know how to write in my niche that I'm hiring for? So for those of you who don't know me, if you're new here, I'm Christine. I'm a full-time freelance copywriter and content marketer. I'm in the software and technology niche. But before I built my full-time freelance business, I was in sales. I was selling software and technology, and I basically took those sales skills to cold pitch clients and build a freelance business from scratch. So now I want to teach those sales principles to other writers because it's pretty rare to find a writer who also has experience in sales, and that's why cold pitching is such an obstacle. Someone said, is it better to stick to just one niche? In the beginning, yes. And I'm going to talk about why, because you're not, that niche is not set in stone. That's why I made my website domain URL my full name instead of a specific like b2btechcopywriter.com type URL, because I didn't know if I was going to stay in that niche, right? So the important thing is to pick one niche to begin with, and once you master that, or maybe if you find out that it's just not working for you, then pivot, but try to master one. Don't be a jack of all trades and master of none, as they say. So what choosing a niche is really going to do for you, other than making you be really appealing to your ideal clients, it's going to give you a direction when it comes to cold pitching, because a lot of people want to set out and start cold pitching, but they don't have a direction, so it never happens. Like, that's why if you go to paidcopywriter.com, you can download my templates and see exactly what you're going to say in your message, but none of that's going to work unless you know who you're reaching out to, how to tailor that message to them, and then how to build your online presence, meaning your website and your LinkedIn, around what that client wants to see. So you have to set that path for yourself and get that clarity, right? And a lot of writers overlook this step, and it's so fundamental. And when I first set out to start teaching copywriters, I myself even overlooked this, because I'm like, well, that's easy. Just choose a niche. Of course you're going to choose a niche. No, a lot of writers don't know to do that because A, they're afraid they're going to get boxed in and, get really bored writing on one subject, or B, if they're afraid, they're limiting themselves because they want clients. And if they just say they write in this one niche, then they're automatically excluding all these other people that could hire them. But it's counterintuitive to say this, but you will attract more people by being very specific, because the right client that wants to hire someone like you is going to be automatically more drawn to you. So you're going to have a lot of power in the marketplace by niching down and getting super specific, because a client will look at your online presence and automatically know, yes, they write in my niche. I sent out a module of my online course. I actually took a module from the paid course and released it to all my newsletter subscribers about how to actually choose your niche. And what niching down is going to do for you is going to allow you to know who you're going to reach out to, because you can get on LinkedIn, but unless you know who to send that message to, you're going to be looking at LinkedIn like, what do I do next? And then it's also going to tell you what the contents of your message should be, right? So what do I say to get this client to actually respond? And the answer to that is actually tailoring your pitch and the contents of your pitch to something that they're going to be interested in. But you can't do that unless you are knowledgeable of the industry and the client, and that comes from choosing your niche. And then also your website, your portfolio, and your LinkedIn profile all need to be optimized around that client. So just by choosing a niche, whether it is health, whether it is pet care, whether it is holistic healing and astrology and new age stuff, or whether it's like me, where you're a software and technology writer, getting really specific sets the path for you. It allows you to get online and have a clear path and know who you're reaching out to. And then you can incorporate the cold pitch templates. Then you can set goals for yourself of, okay, I'm going to send 10 cold pitches a day. So if you are struggling to get started with cold pitching, it could just be that you haven't taken that foundational step of getting clear on what path you're going to walk. So if you go to paidcopywriter.com, I have everything I just said condensed into an article. I am a writer, so it's probably easier for me to articulate things in writing versus me getting on live video with you guys and speaking. But I have this condensed into a blog post, and I also have the module that I took out of my course about how to get clear on your niche and actually this process of choosing, okay, what do I know about, which I really urge you to choose what you know or what you have experience in versus just something you're passionate about or something you care about. Because I know that my passion, I'm so passionate about certain topics. Software is not one of them. I just happen to have the professional experience behind that. And I make an argument for that in my articles. If you go to paidcopywriter.com of why it's important to choose something when you're brand new, that you can really have confidence in the knowledge versus like, hey, I'm just interested in this topic. So it'll break down, this post I'm talking about will break down the process of choosing something that you are interested in and then doing the proper research to make sure that there's actually a demand for your niche, that you have the highest likelihood of making a full-time income writing in that niche. So all of that is at paidcopywriter.com. The module is straight out of my online course. So go visit my site, watch it, and just make a choice. Don't worry about boxing yourself in. It's not set in stone. Make a choice of what path you're going to pursue, and I promise you that snowballs eventually into full-time income. You just have to start with a straight and narrow path. And any business coach, any small business owner instinctively knows this, that they need to start off in one granular topic versus trying to serve everybody. Eventually you can grow, but in the beginning you have to be clear on the one thing that you're really great at. Even the giants like Amazon, Amazon was a bookseller, right? That's how I got on Amazon over 10 years ago, was buying used college books. They became the leader in used books, and now they are, the most prolific, giant out there, but they started doing one thing, getting known for one thing, and that's what I want for you too. All right, guys, DM me or email me. I love talking to you guys and finding out what it is that you're struggling with. And then I use your questions to create these videos, which is super exciting for me. Bye.